Hi, Dora.
Hi, how are you?
You can unmute yourself if you feel like.
Yeah. Okay, how are you? Are you Thomas and Dan?
Yeah.
Lovely to see you.
Yeah,
How are you?
I'm feeling better now. It's going better. It's not 100%, but it's going better. So I
Good.
got more energy.
Good.
It's going upwards.
So you have sort of recovered from not only the retreat, but the physical challenges that you faced during the retreat, before and after.
yes, indeed, yes. It was hard work, but yeah, I managed it. Yeah.
Okay, very
Now
good.
now I have to gain weight because I lost a lot of kilos. So yeah, but that's very difficult.
Do you have access to ashwagandha, which is an Ayurvedic herb that you can actually, where did I put the night drink that the recipe?
Yeah.
No, that's a different one. I will find out the recipe of my night drink, which is basically a plant-based milk with some spices, saffron, and herbs that you can have in the evening.
Yeah.
Which is very good for the nervous system. If you don't find the ashwagandha and brahmi, I can probably send you some if you want to. But let me think about it after the call and I will message you.
Yes, please. Yeah.
Cool.
Okay. Thank you.
Now, it's just going to be us at the moment as it appears. We have had the call about 10 days or something ago. And we had a few people that were on that call. And because we sent out the email 2 days ago, we said, okay, let's see if people have some more questions around the retreat and we can answer those questions. So do you mind if we have pressed the recording button. Is that okay to have the session recorded for you? So people, if they want to know more about it afterwards, we can send them a link to the video recording. Is that okay?
It's okay for me, but I don't have many questions because I was just curious. Yeah.
I will.
Tracy sent me the link today, so I didn't quite looked into it.
Okay.
Yeah.
We will give you a bit of a background and how it came about and the content of it, and then we take it from there.
Yes, please. Yeah.
Okay, so let me just share my screen.
Yeah.
So basically, the mission or our intention for the retreat is to embrace the realm beyond the ordinary, where the symphony of Merlin's frequencies entwine with mirrors that shimmer, casting luminescent truth upon your path, to awaken the ancient wisdom that slumbers in your field as energy alchemically dance and transform, to merge as a radiant force, weaving threads of profound transformation, and finally to walk the path bathed in enchantment where authenticity blooms and the tapestry of limitless possibility unfurls beyond your very eyes. So this is the intention that came to us. And why Merlin? No, first of all, let's start why 1111. So basically, as you know, 1111 is a master number. And the doubling of the master number 11 symbolizes, 11 in itself symbolizes higher awareness, deeper understanding. It's also called the angel number. And for me personally, that number, I can only speak for myself and Dan will share in a minute, means that I'm being looked after. But if you look at numerologically the meaning, it is very much a number of spiritual awareness, spiritual awakening, and especially if you double the number. So But in saying that, last year, as you know, we have had our retreat with JC,
Yes.
which was the 111 retreat, and we used the number 1 as well. And we played with the title. It was originally 111 Returns, but then we looked into the process of the content and we just changed it to 1111. So that's where the number actually comes from.
Yeah, you would think it was a retreat in November.
The 11th of
Exactly.
November.
The 11th of November, that's right.
Yeah.
So before we go into the details of the retreat itself, for me personally, the frequency, or as I would like to call it now, maybe the energy signature of Merlin has been with me for a very long time. I was always fascinated about magic in itself. And during my time in New Zealand, I was actually a magician on stage, performing for children, doing children's entertainment, birthday parties, and in shopping malls. So magic for me has been very special. And then, of course, there have been all the Harry Potter books and Lord of the Rings and the whole knowledge about King Arthur, the Knights of the Round Table, and Merlin in itself. So saying that, a few years ago, I was sitting in meditation, and it was during lockdown in my flat in London. I don't know if I told the story here. And I felt that for me, what it was is like I could feel the energy, the frequency of Merlin coming in. I don't want to use the word channeling Merlin because that's so loaded. I don't think I would really go to say that, but I could feel there was some higher wisdom connection that happened to me during that time. And I was given an essential oil blend, an essential oil formula, and I felt it was directly the Merlin frequency that came in for protection and used in meditation to connect to higher self. Cutting a long story short, here we are 3 years later. It's finally now that we are about to launch the product, or the Divine Defense Essential Oil Roll-On. Merlin actually gave, or whatever that was, gave exactly the essential oils, what should be in there, and I was given the formula. You know, with essential oils, it's all about the combination of the top notes, the middle notes, and the base notes, and how they blend together. And I was given the name of the oils, and I was given how many drops, the proportion of the oils in which base oil to put. And I left it like that. Afterwards, I just wrote it down, as you do. Yeah, it's one of those things. But it kept on going on in my mind, and I played with it for a while. And then I finally managed to put the blend together as it was given, without any of my interferences. And it really turned out to be this beautiful, earthy, essential oil blend that then now is being called Divine Defense, that is used for protection. And I have used the Bovis energy chart, which you may know from JC's pendulum readings, and the frequency of it is pretty high. And also I use the oil to add additional frequencies to it, to even increase in its potency. So in saying that, that's the essential oil blend that actually I that we will be announcing shortly for people to provide if they feel called to actually use it. And this is very big for me, because you know me, yes, I do sort of tap into certain aspects of myself, but I don't like the idea of just, you know, like where people say, oh, I've gone and channeled Merlin, I've done this or that. But the best way of how I can put it is that I've tapped into the frequency fractal of Merlin within myself at some stage during my meditation journey. And this is what came out. And I feel inspired. I feel really drawn to that energy at this particular moment in time. And I can feel when the energy is there. You have experienced some of the work that I've done, and I do believe there is a strong influence of that magic coming in. And magic is being totally misunderstood, especially when it comes to the spells and the rituals and all of that.
Indeed.
And we all have that magical element within us. And for me, magic means alchemy, which leads us to the content of the actual course. So alchemy means transformation, using a base metal and basically transforming it into gold. And as part of that process, there's another very powerful, I would call it elixirs, that are in the making and that are in the process of being put out there, and I've tried them myself, which have really, really had a profound effect on my spiritual growth, on cleansing pineal gland, connecting to higher self. There is an entire journey where you travel from the physical body, the earth element, to the subtler bodies by using those elixirs in a particular way, which is basically gold in a bottle. It's gold dust and liquid gold in various forms in a bottle that comes from a guy that I met online, I contacted in America, which then again has been infused with certain specific frequencies. So it's about this alchemical process of changing gold, a base metal, and transforming it into gold. So if you look at the content of the days, so basically it is about, in essence, taking reflection of where we are at this point in time, looking at where am I on my journey, taking reflection. And on day one, we feel we would use the concept of trying to understand what that Merlin frequency mean to you. Explore what that frequency is. And then using the mirror as a tool in various ways. I'm not gonna go deeply into the actual content of the days, but basically mirror can be a reflection of actually looking in the mirror, but other people can also be a mirror of us to see what is there to be revealed and what blocks are reflected back that hinder us and hinder this flow of magic to come into our lives. And then on day two, we delve into ancestral connections through intense breath work. So what breath work, but also movement and also sacred herbs. You have had a taste of one of the herbal teas that we did at the Dragon Calling, yes. But I will make a stronger portion and we will increase a different component of herbs is going to be added to that drink, which is basically there to help bring forth those shadow aspects that we may not see. And then as the process of starting shedding the past, letting go of the past, removing all those masks that we put onto ourselves through breath work, through movement, and those very, very sacred herbs. And it's a herbal tea. It has nothing to do with any hallucinogenic. It's a herbal blend that has been used in the jungle to go through various processes. So it's nothing to do with an hallucinogenic. It's like having an herbal infusion with your herbs in the garden, but these are herbs from the jungle. That's the difference.
Okay.
So, and then basically, as we tap into our ancestral bloodline, we use the power of the water. The water element will play a crucial role to help us transform those patterns. And then on day 3, we will continue on our transformative alchemical process where we gather more of those dense aspects of ourselves. We put it literally and metaphorically in a cauldron. We allow the water to boil. We add herbs and spices to it. And we basically use those base ingredients to transform, transmute it through chants, through healing, through our energy that we put in, and then use that elixir as a symbol for us, as a reset, and as part of that, the light code activation that takes place. So this will give you a rough sort of summary of the 3 days. And I would like to pass on to Dan to just sort of share what Dan has to share with regards to the program at this point in time.
It sounds very interesting, Thomas. Yes.
Is there anything Dora wants to ask at this point?
Yeah,
before I
Dora, any
continue?
questions at this point?
No, not about the program, but some, how do we say? It comes later. Yeah.
Just as also, before we continue, one of the important things is originally we reached out and we invited Joanne to be part of it, and Carrie and Taylor.
Yeah.
And Joanne, already after the Dragon Retreat, she was very clear, I'm not going to do any more retreats.
Yeah.
It has taken a lot out of her.
I think so.
And then Carrie and Taylor in the last couple of weeks have pulled out for various reasons. Taylor, because she's going back to the States.
Yes.
So, and as it looks now, she wouldn't even be here.
Yeah.
And Carrie for her own personal reasons. And then we were faced, what are we going to do, you know? But we feel this is a calling for us,
Yeah.
that step into our own space, and that we are trusting that the right people will come at the right time, and we will have a wonderful transformative time in any shape or form.
I'm sure of it. I didn't expect to be Joanne or Carrie or Taylor to be there, so it's all right for me. I have some practical points. That's the only thing I have to ask, but that can come afterwards.
Good, thank
Yeah.
you. Dan,
Sure.
I will-
Can you put yourself on mute? and
wait a
I'll-
second. I'll just stop sharing the screen,
Yeah.
and I will put myself. Take my microphone off.
That's it. It's just because we're sitting in the same room. So if we don't play around with the sound, we end up with an echo. Don't
Yeah.
we? Echo. Yeah, I'm quite excited about this retreat because for me, it kind of represents the journey that I've personally been on for the last 3 years since I met Thomas. Before I met Thomas, I think I always knew in the back of my mind that there was more than just the physical world. I knew that there was more to it, and I felt it in my heart, but I didn't really have the opportunity to explore that. And then lockdown happened, and I witnessed the whole world, my whole reality as I know it, dissolve in front of my eyes. Within a matter of 2 weeks, everything that I thought was reality disappeared. And I thought, if that can happen, what is reality? Is this physical world really all there is? And then I met Thomas. And to cut a long story short, I had some very life-changing experiences in Thomas's company that really put me in touch with that which we cannot see. Let's just put it that way. I'll use those words. I know many people like to use terms like 5D and 10D and 11D, all this stuff. But for me, what resonates is I know I can't see it with my physical senses, but I know it's there and I've felt it and experienced it. So I'll tell my own little Merlin story, which connects me to the retreat. Thomas and I were in London in lockdown, and Thomas introduced me to some plant medicine. And I remember starting to see through the veil, if you want to put it that way. And I could start to feel for the first time in my life, wow, this thing that we call magic, it's real. That is the reality. And the physical world that I live in is a kind of a, how should I put it? It's like a reflection of that greater reality. And I had a lot of resistance to letting go of my past experience because I had been trained in science and engineering. And although I think that's a very valid way of looking at the world, it has a lot of value, it's not the whole picture. But I was scared of stepping into that unknown, scared of embracing what I couldn't see. And during this plant medicine ceremony, Thomas was talking to Merlin. I could see he was like sitting there having a discussion. And I was like, oh no, I'm happy. I'll just sit here. I don't want to wake up anymore. No more awakening for me. This is enough. Thank you. And apparently Merlin was saying to Thomas, right, now you have to do something to help this one. So I remember Thomas picked up one of his crystals. And when he picked it up, I could feel the energy in the room, like being pulled. It was like a giant wind of energy being sucked into this crystal. And I knew, oh my God, what's going to happen next? Oh no, I don't want to wake up. I don't want to wake up. I felt almost like, you know, like a teenage boy in his bed who doesn't want to get up for school. And like his dad is saying, right, you have to go to school now. Wake up, get out of bed. No, no, I'm comfortable. I just want to stay in my bed. And then Thomas was holding this crystal up, and then it was almost like something out of the Lord of the Rings. He put like the crystal down on the ground, and I felt this explosion of energy across the room that I couldn't see, but I could feel it. It almost knocked me off the sofa. And it was the most wonderful feeling. I felt so alive. It was such a pleasurable sensation. But at the same time, I was scared. It was almost like when you're on a roller coaster and you're like just going down the steep bit.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my God, right, that's enough now. That's enough. And of course, he did this thing with the crystal like 2 more times. And after that, my worldview was like totally shifted. And I was like, okay, so I need to kind of look at what I believe. Some of the things I believe are not actually the whole picture. So I had to go through quite a difficult period of shedding my belief systems, opening myself up to this magic, which is actually, as I see it, the greater reality.
Yeah.
And I've never looked back since then, since knowing Thomas. Of course, I always had this resistance that, oh, I don't want to let go of who I think I am. But I know the more I let go of who I think I am, the more I embrace that magic, and the more I embrace that greater reality beyond me, which of course is part of me as well. Now I see that. So for me, this retreat is a wonderful, wonderful opportunity to share that kind of experience with other people. So they can come, they can take stock of where they are right now and look at, you know, what do I believe about myself that is not actually true? Yeah. How do I see reality that is limiting me in some way? And then we'll go through these various processes, breathing work, various energetic processes that will help people to transmute, to change those beliefs, discard the ones that don't serve them, and open themselves up to limitless possibilities. And that's so exciting because I look at how my life has totally changed in the last 3 years and totally grown to be something so much bigger. And I'm really excited that we can share that kind of process with other people, because the people who will be attracted to this retreat are those people who really want to step into that more. But I'm sure you'll agree, Dora, we often find ourselves surrounded by people who don't get it or don't get us, or you know, we have these feelings and sensations and ideas, and they're not necessarily shared with the people around us. So it can be a challenge to step into a different version of reality. So this retreat is a great crucible, a pot that we can put our ingredients in, and we can cook up a new expanded version of ourselves. So I'm really excited to be sharing this opportunity with everybody.
Yeah.
Far too much now. There we go.
Sounds great. Yes. Yeah, sounds great. I'm not sure if I will come. I don't know, because I just today I thought about it, because Tracy sent me the link and talked about it, and I've heard, of course, of the retreat, but let it go. Didn't think about it, but today I felt some pulling, some sort of calling. So I thought I will go to the Zoom, but
I'm very glad that you've joined us.
I have the honor to see you both.
I don't know if it's an honor, but it's lovely to see you.
And you're doing the right thing. You are just sitting with it and allow it to come to you.
Yeah.
And if it feels right, it will be fine. And if not, it's also fine. We know everything is perfect the way it is.
I know.
So,
I get goosebumps now. So there's something working. Goosebumps. So there's something working with me. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And you said before you've got some practical questions.
Yes, just about is it the same as with the Dragon Calling retreat? So I can, if I go, I can book a hotel in Aberdeen, and you'll pick us up. Okay, that's
So it would be the same hotel where you stayed, and then we would come and pick you up. We will organize transport for these days. Yes.
Yeah. And I think a lot of the Dragon Calling people are there too also. I think so.
So what the situation is, we have, when we moved up to Scotland, we have put a call out for so-called family members of the retreat. They have really contributed for us to actually make this move possible financially.
Founding members.
Yes, I wrote about that. Yeah. Yeah.
And we have said to them, as much space as we have, they can stay with us free of charge as a thank you for the contribution and to help us, because without their financial contribution, we would not be up here.
Of course, I understand.
So, yes, so Tracy, Anju, for example, as well, and Ursula. So they are at the moment, and Gail. There are 4 people that can stay with us at this point in time. So we do have another. So who else did we say today? It was like,
We'll need to check.
we will check the number of people, because if there is some space and you would be comfortable to sleep on a very comfortable airbed with, then you could possibly, we have to look at the exact numbers. So you could stay with us here as well. So it doesn't make sense. So then for you to be the only one at the moment, but like we say, we are open to see who else feels called to the retreat, because we still have got 6 weeks, 5 weeks at least to go.
Okay.
But that possibility can also be discussed.
That's interesting. Yes, would be very nice. Yeah.
So yeah, this is basically the situation where we are at.
Yeah.
And we both, Dan and myself, we fully sit in the trust. And we said, irrespective of the number of people, because this is not about the numbers, it is about us providing a space and being together as a family, and all of us going through another transformative process, which is different from the dragon calling process that we have gone through.
Yes.
So,
can I suggest I switch off my microphone? You put your one back on.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Back again from my end. Yeah. So, yeah.
That's it.
Any other questions, Dora?
No. No other questions. No.
So just sit with it.
Yeah.
Meditate on it. And we are very grateful that you just sort of followed the impulse from Tracy, that you came online here. Yeah. And you know where you can find us if there are any other questions that you would like to ask.
Yeah.
Send us a message on Telegram.
We'll
and be happy to chat again, or anything. So
thank you very much. Thank you, Thomas. Thank you, Dan.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And have a wonderful weekend. It's been really, I don't know, you may have felt physically challenged after the retreat, but I felt emotionally very, very challenged coming down after the retreat. It's been really sort of quite, how shall I put it? It's like trying to figure out, where am I in this bigger picture? It's like almost everything has been stripped away and I have to rediscover of who I am. It may sound weird, but, and I kept very quiet. I felt like, of course, we have got our own online programs, the meditation circle, the cacao circle, and everything. Keep that going. But I felt like I don't really want to mingle with too many people, or just needed to be on my own.
Yeah, the same for me. Yeah.
And I'm lucky enough that I have Dan, who has helped me a couple of times to pull myself out. And because it's like, whenever we feel like we have reached a level, a rock bottom, I said to Dan, I didn't know that rock bottom has so many different layers.
Yeah.
It sounds very dramatic, but it takes just a short moment. It's not like goes on for days and days, but just to go through that process of allowing yourself to feel what you feel, to feel tired, exhausted, not knowing, scared, anxious. And then pulling yourself back out again. And I do believe the energies at this point in time are really, really strong around the 8-8 portal, which we have. And then we had the full moon last week. I mean, in a way, I feel quite, and please don't take this in the wrong way, I feel quite tired of saying the energies are very strong. We just need to get used to the fact that the energies are strong all the time. And it doesn't matter if it is an 8-8 portal or an 11-11 portal or a 2-2-2 portal. It doesn't matter as long as we stay in our self, stay true to ourselves, become aware of what we feel, accept what we feel, and be gentle with ourselves. So
yeah, that's
anyway,
right.
this is where I am, but I can feel a shift and turn again. And when I talk about the retreat, I feel quite excited, and I trust. My whole life has been trust. I can trust myself. I can trust the process. It will be just perfect, and that's the beauty. There's no fear. There's no. It's a knowing that everything is in divine order, and that's such a beautiful space to be in.
Absolutely, absolutely, yes.
We have set out the intention, and we have put out the calling. We have challenged with 3 people, our leaders, that co-hosts pulling out, but it feels right. We still go ahead because of the reasons that we have mentioned, and it will be wonderful.
Fantastic. Yeah, fantastic.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you. Love you both.
Have a lovely weekend and
And the
stay
same to you.
Big hugs.
Bye. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.